Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler platform. It is another Tuesday, and this is the first Tuesday in the month of May, and I'm so thankful that you all are sharing this space with me. You all know I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, and tonight I want to talk about how good is your card game? How good is your endurance level? How good are you at playing cards? I'm going to talk about that, y'all. I'm going to make it make sense because my goal really is for us to leave more inspired when we leave the conversation than when we came. You all know I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, and we are picking up passengers. We're getting ready to talk about how do we become better along this highway of life as we are driving and we're looking at the billboards. We're applying those that are good for us, and those that are not, we're just passing those on to somebody else. All right. I will be right back because I really want to look into this game and see how good is your game. I'll be right back right after this, okay?
Let's talk to Cutler. One more thing, like, subscribe. Come on, let's talk to Cutler.
All right, I'm back. Hey, if this is your first time joining my channel, do me a favor, make sure that you subscribe. And once you subscribe, click on that notification bell so that you will be aware every time I go live, every time I've uploaded new content and we're chatting together. Make sure that you do me a favor and click on the thumbs up button. Click on the thumbs up. It says to me that you are encouraged by our conversation. I'll shout out our LTTC VIPs in just a moment. But for those of you who are new to my channel, this is about inspiration and motivation. It's about making sure that we find a space and a place where we can hop on the highway and go to this location that's called better. We just want to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. So we come together every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock. We spend this time together, and we only do it for 1,800 seconds. And whatever space you allow me to come into, I'm thankful for that. Whether it's your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, your car, your front porch, your back porch, wherever it is, I'm always thankful that you all take the time to share this space with me. Well, our conversation is based on this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. It's my 7th book, you all, and it's available on Amazon.com, or you can go right over to www.gbcutler.com and pick it up. That's www.gbcutler and pick up this book. It is sure to offer you some substance, some hope, some motivation. And I tell you what, there's sometimes, and it will challenge you to show up a little bit better tomorrow than you did today. But we share this space because we are on our way to better, but we're on our way to better, and we're picking up somebody to go there with us. All right. Thank you all so much for joining this evening. We're going to get started because on Tuesdays, you all know what we do. We read the quotes from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, we read the quotes from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The quote from Saturday, you know how we do it, you all. All day is your way. Use the quote to start a conversation. Use the quote as part of your meditation. Whatever you do, just use it. But make sure that you share it. All right. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs. And they are Annie Cutler. She says, let's ride. Linda Martin, she says, good evening to everyone. And then Nikki Smith, she says, good evening, everybody. You all come on in the chat room and chat it up with us because we're going to talk about how do we get better? How do we improve ourselves? Not just how do we just continue to recycle, but how do we improve ourselves? And how do we deal with those normal situations that everybody deal with every day? That's why this platform is called Let's Talk to Cutler. It's a no holds bar, talk about anything and everything. Okay, so I want to get started but you all, I want to do something that I don't normally do. You all know it's very rare for me to read a quote from a Saturday, but I was so moved by this past Saturday's quote until I have to read it. So we'll do May 1st, which is Saturday, and then we'll try to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but we'll cover them all. But again, you all come on and join the conversation. I need to hear from you because when I hear from you, I am inspired, I am uplifted, and I am motivated. The quote from May 1st says, stay in the game. The enemy will ultimately reveal his hand. Stay in the game. The enemy will ultimately reveal his hand. And I have to tell you all this. Again, I don't typically read the quote from Saturday, but this one was something, there was something in this one that resonated with me in a strong way. And I wanted to share that with you all. There's something about wisdom that is gained through experience. It makes you look back and appreciate your journey from a very healthy perspective. And when I was younger, I have to tell you all this. I wanted quick success. I wanted quick success as a youngster. When I was young, I also wanted rapid victories. I wanted fast achievement. But for some reason, my life has not yielded that kind. It just hasn't yielded that. So I want to share a bit of encouragement from my heart to those who feel like it's still taking too long. Sometimes we feel like it's taken too long for you to achieve. It's taken too long to obtain. It's taken too long to reach your goal. So I just wanted to share this quote with you because I want to share a moment. I want to go inside that space where you feel like time is not on your side. I want to go inside that space where you feel like time hasn't been your friend. I want to speak to that space where you smile on the outside, but internally you are still frustrated and you are annoyed with where you are when it comes to some of the goals you set and some of the dreams that you have and some of the aspirations that you're working toward. I know there were moments when I would smile on the outside and wonder, is time ever going to be my friend? And so I want to remind you that success has just as much to do with endurance and perseverance and stick-to-itness and never giving up. It has just as much to do with that as it has to do with strategy and preparation. Success is all about that. And I said to you, listen, I am not the best card player. I'll admit it. I am not the best card player in the world. But what I do know is that each deck has only a limited number of cards. I'm going somewhere and I'm really trying to save your life. And if you stay in the game long enough, you develop a certain amount of wisdom whereby you recognize the opponent's strategy or you recognize the strategy of your life and you recognize and you recall the cards that have already been played. I got any card players who are listening this evening, and you will learn how to defeat your opponent. You might not win the whole game at first. You might just win a few books and plays here and there. And then you might win a few hands or a few sets. But eventually you walk away from the table as a winner. It's the same way in life. What do? Acquire the wisdom of time. Pace yourself, study the game, pay attention to what's happening in your dealings and in your surroundings. And you will eventually walk away from the game a winner. Why, Cutler? Because you were, I said it a couple conversations ago, you were created to win. We were destined, you all, to be conquerors without ever stepping into the ring. So my inspiration right out of the gate is don't fold, don't throw in your hand, play the game, play the hand you've been dealt. Because we don't always get a good hand, you all, but play the hand that you've been dealt. And ultimately, you walk away as a winner. You ultimately walk away as a winner. So the admonition is to stay in the game. It's about perseverance. Just stay in the game. It is about stick-to-itness. Stay in the game. It is about endurance. Waiting it out. Watching and studying life. So be encouraged, you all. Be encouraged and stay in the game. The next quote for Sunday, May 2nd says, I don't worry about God hiding things from me. I'm just glad that he hides me from things. I chuckle and I cringe and I shiver when I read that. I don't worry about God hiding things from me. I'm just glad that he hides me from things. Right out of the gate, I want to ask you all this. Right out of the gate, I want to know this. Now, you all have to let me know in the chat. Do your family members think you are nosy? I wish I could just pause and just converse with you for about 5 minutes. Put it in the chat. Those of you who are chatting with me, do your family members think you're nosy? Do they talk about you and say, you know, he's nosy or she's nosy? And listen, I'm not asking if you are a nosy person, but I just want to know if your family members think you are. Because, you know, family members don't pull any punches. They keep it real and raw. I mean, they just lay the cards right out on the table. Now, I have some family members that I consider nosy. I won't say whether they are on my mother's side or whether they are on my father's side, whether they're maternal or paternal, because my phone might start ringing while I'm sitting here chatting with you all. But I do have some family members that I think are nosy. And I'll confess, I am very connected to my family, but I don't think they consider me nosy. I don't. I just don't have a huge hunger for the details and the experiences that I'm not a part of. I don't need to know the details of an experience that I'm not a part of. So I've never been in a space where I needed to know or wanted to know everything. That's just not me. That's not who I am. And that has served me well. I am so okay. I'm fine with God hiding certain things from me. I'm fine with people keeping certain things from me. Why? Because the more I know, the more I'm responsible for handling. The more I know, the more I'm responsible for handling. The more I know, the more I have to exercise good stewardship over. The more experiences I have, the more I am challenged to do right by them. The more knowledge, the more experiences I have, the more decisions I have to process through my moral and my spiritual filter to determine if I should or when I should or how I should. So the more I know, the more I'm responsible for filtering through my spiritual and moral filter. This is why people talk about the innocence of youth. The more we know, the more we are inclined to become jaded and tainted and biased. I am so very glad that some things I just don't know. I'm glad that there are some people that I don't know. But I must confess that I am equally glad that there are some things that don't know me. There are some experiences that I have never had. There are some experiences that I never want to have. Not only the experiences, you all, but I'm also glad that there are some people who don't know me. I'm thankful that God has hidden me from some things and from some people. I can't help but believe that my life is unfolding with all of the people and with all of the experiences that God intended for me to know and have. I just believe that. So just as I am fine with them not knowing everything, I'm equally fine. Just as I'm fine with them not knowing everything, I'm fine with everything not knowing me. I'm okay with not knowing everything. I'm equally okay with everything not knowing me. I'm okay with not knowing everybody, but I'm also okay with everybody not knowing me. I'm thankful that there are times when God not only hides things from me, but he hides me from things. You all learn to be thankful for the experiences of the people that you don't have. Oh, for those that you do have. Be thankful for the experiences of the people that you do have, but learn to count your blessings for those experiences that you don't have. Be thankful and just say, well, I guess the Creator is hiding me from the things that I don't need to be exposed to, the things that I don't need to have experience with. So some of you have lived as long as I have. Some have lived longer, some maybe not quite as long. But what I know is this: the more that you know, the more you're responsible for handling. And there's some things as I think in my journey, wow, it would have been wonderful to have not had to handle that. For anyone who have ever experienced poverty, it would be wonderful not to have had to experience that. Be thankful that you were hidden from that experience. For people who go through things like verbal, emotional, and physical abuse, it is a blessing for those of us who have never been through that. Be thankful that God hides you from some things and from some people and from some experiences. It makes you better to not have had some experiences. Y'all, I want to go into May 2nd, May 3rd, but I want us to get that. Look, saying the country ain't got to know everything, and I'm okay with not knowing everything. All right, we're reading from this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. We're picking up passengers. You all, as you're in the chat room, make sure that you say hi to the other fellow passengers. Make sure that you chat with them. But you all, be thankful for the experiences that you don't have. All right, I want to get to the quote from May 3rd. You all, it says this: how high you lift others today could determine how high you soar tomorrow. It's as simple as that. How high you lift others today could determine how high you soar tomorrow. Those of you who have been with me on this platform for any amount of time know that I am a person who celebrates others. I applaud others. I rejoice with others. I lift others when I can. And I will champion the cause of others whenever I'm given the opportunity. I truly believe in the law of reciprocity. I believe in the law of reciprocity. I really believe that we reap what we sow. And that means you all, just as I have tried to lift others and inspire others and motivate others and sometimes challenge others to be better, I truly believe with my whole heart that someone is doing the same thing for me. I believe it. As you are lifting others, you all, you have to know that somebody is doing the same thing for you. And you reach a point where you realize that when you are pushing, you all, please get this, when you are pushing other people up, there are others who are pushing you up. Believe that and know that it's true. And not only are there others pushing you up, but sometimes those who you push up, they're reaching down to pull you up to where you are. So when you're kind to people, when you are genuine, when you are nice, and when you are decent, where are those people in the world other than sitting right here chatting with me? When you are that kind of person and you lift others, believe and know that others are lifting you. And those whom you have lifted, every now and then, while you have people pushing you, they will reach down and pull you up. So as you lift people, believe this, you all, as you are lifting people, that will determine how high you are going to soar. It really does. You all do me a favor. Do me a favor, those passengers who are in the chat room, make sure that you give a shout out and say hi to Lorene Brown. It's Lorene's first time joining the Let's Talk to Cutler family, the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. And I want to make sure that Lorene really does, by the time we finish talking, that she's thankful. Lorene is thankful for coming into the chat and for spending this time. Lorene, this is about making sure that we show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. Not saying that today was a wash, because some of us have done pretty good about today and by today. But tomorrow we're striving just to be a little bit better. You also, as I think about this notion, how high you lift others today will determine how high you soar tomorrow. There are some genuine people who have set goals for themselves. But one of the goals is not to get there alone. We are on a trajectory, you all, where we want to reach better. But we don't want to get to that space called better by ourselves. And that's why we meet in this space every Tuesday and Thursday. That's why we make a deliberate effort to build community, to maintain connectivity, and to pick up our fellow passengers and to encourage them along the highway of life. What are we doing? We are packed in this vehicle. We're riding down the highway and we're reading these billboards. Some apply to us and some may not. And as our car is filling up, we're going to start a caravan. We're going to say, hey, hop in the other vehicle, because we're all headed to the same place. The place is called better, but I just don't want to get there by myself. I want to make sure that my friends and family and fellow followers of the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, I want us all to get there together. A party of one isn't so much fun. But I've learned that when you push up others, what are you doing? You're actually building a rope to pull yourself up. Let me say that again. When you push up others, you are building a rope to pull yourself up. And I want to caution us, though. I want to caution us not to help others with the sole intent or the sole purpose of reaping a reward just for ourselves. We don't help other people just so that we can get a reward. We do it because it's right to do so. We do it because it's human to do so. We do it because it is decent to do so. It's human and kind and decent to be nice to people. It's human and kind and decent to help other people. There are enough people who lie in wait for the opportunity to be nasty. Maybe you don't know any, but I know people like that. There are people who have no moral filter when it comes to being unkind. They're unkind because it seems to be a part of what they do, it's a part of their DNA. And I challenge us not to be those people. But I remind us that every time you do right by people, every time you treat someone kind, every time you do that, you are laying bricks and building bridges to a foundation that will only cause you to soar higher. How high you lift people today will determine how high you soar tomorrow. I believe it with my whole heart. It's going to determine how high we soar tomorrow. So guess what, you all? Lift today so you can fly and soar tomorrow. Lift today so you can fly and soar tomorrow. I got to move on. Listen, I gave you all a bonus one. I had to reach back and pull Saturday into the mix and into the conversation. All right. So listen, here's what I want to do. My friend Auntie is chatting with us. Auntie, is always so good to see you. Listen, you all. May 4th says this. If you do the right thing when it's difficult, if you do the right thing when it's difficult, it will become difficult to do the wrong thing when it's easy. Let me read that one again. If you do the right thing when it's difficult, it will become difficult to do the wrong thing when it's easy. As I read this, as I share this quote, I think about little kids who are so tempted, bless their hearts, as we say in the South. They are so tempted with all of the sugary snacks and the treats and the desserts in the kitchen and in the pantry of their homes, and bless their little hearts. You know, that's the Southern part of me coming out. Bless their little hearts. They find it so difficult sometimes to resist the urge to sneak into the refrigerator, to sneak into the pantry when mom and dad are not looking. But at some point, they learn how to do the right thing, even though it is difficult. They learn how to do the right thing, even when it's difficult. They really learn it. Have you ever met people who seem to have no difficulty whatsoever when it comes to doing the right thing? Have you ever met people like that? You all, those of who you're chatting with me, make sure that y'all do a shout out and say hi to Chandra as well. The question is, have you ever met people who seem to have no difficulty when it comes to doing the right thing, making the right decisions, taking the high roads, treating people right, looking at things from a healthy perspective? I know a few people like that. I admonish us all. When you find people like that, spend some time with those people and talk with them and find out their stories. I dare say that they learn how to conquer temptation during some part of the journey. It's about how do we handle the temptation. At some point during most of our weeks, probably for all of us, we're probably tempted by something that we like. You all listen, ain't nobody tempted by nothing that they don't like. But at some point during the week, and maybe during the course of every day, we are tempted by something that we like, something that we find desirable, but it's something that's not necessarily good for us. I'm sure we are tempted not to exercise. I know I am. Tempted not to exercise. Tempted to eat or to drink something that we don't need. Tempted to say something that we don't necessarily need to say. Some of us are tempted every single day, but I'm getting ready to give us a twist on temptation. You also hang in there with me. The one thing that I really like and appreciate about temptation is that temptation creates a workout space for me to develop my character. You all be encouraged. I mean, hang on. Let me just say that again. The one good thing about temptation, think about it. It creates this space for us to work out, a space for us to develop our character, a space for us to strengthen our integrity, a space for us to fortify our resilience. That's what temptation does. I'm going to help us learn to look on the brighter side of temptation this evening. I don't mind, and I'm telling you all this, I don't mind some of the temptations. Because what they do, they give me the opportunity to prove to myself, not necessarily to anybody else. The beauty of temptation is that you get to prove to yourself the stuff that you're made of. This journey ain't about proving anything to anybody else. This is about proving to you that you have character, proving to you that you have integrity, proving to you that you have resilience, proving to you that you have the stuff to navigate life if nobody else pushes or pulls you. temptation will show you that. And I will be the very first to admit, let me be transparent. I'll be the very first to admit and to confess that I don't pass every test when it comes to temptation. I don't. But just as quickly as I make that confession, let me share this with you all. I also confess that I don't fail as many times as I used to fail. I don't worry about temptation because I let it show me what's inside of me. And sure, I may fail when it comes to some of the temptations, but when I look at my journey, I realize that I have not failed every one of them either. Don't you let people cause you to feel bad about, falling down and fumbling along life. You get up and keep right on going. They become your strength builders, your character builders, your integrity strengtheners, and your resilience makers. That's what temptation does. Sometimes we get bogged down by the fact that, I feel so tempted. I'm telling you, next time you see temptation, look at it. Look at the temptation and say, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. What took you so long to get here? I've been waiting for you. All right? You all do me a favor. Do me a favor. While you're chatting with me, somebody please say hi to Jamelia Marshall. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about how to do a different take on the temptations, you all. Haven't failed every single one of them. You've got to learn how to find your victories. While people are still pointing to your failures, you learn how to find your victories. There is something that you have done victoriously every single day. Find it. I challenge you to go through every day and find something that you've been victorious over. This is one that we don't master overnight. We don't master how to conquer temptations overnight, but every single day we work at trying to do right in the difficult moments. Why? So that it becomes difficult to do wrong in the easy moments. You all, I want to thank you so much for sharing this time and sharing this space. It warms my heart. I hope that you get something from the conversation. I get something from your presence. Your presence is a gift to me. So if I've never said that, I want to say thank you. Your presence is a gift to me because you didn't have to share this time. So I want to say thank you. I'm only here for 1,800 seconds. And as I close out, I want to do this. I want to share one of my poems. I've written 7 books, and most of my books are available on Amazon.com or www.gbcutler.com. But I try each Tuesday and Thursday to close with a poem. 1 or 2. I might share 2 this evening. But here's one that I want to share with you, because life and its temptations should come to build us. Life, some of those experiences leave us not knowing and anticipating and sometimes wanting more. I want to read a poem called Wanting More. Every day I find myself loving that which causes me to hate, despising that which causes me to admire, breaking that which causes me to mend. Each day I find myself clinging that which causes me to lose. Why? Upholding that which causes me to bow, withstanding that which causes me to kneel. Day after day, I find myself rejecting that which gives me hope, ignoring that which gives me peace, but still desiring that which gives me grace. Wanting more. I share that with you from the perspective of looking at temptations. Each day, we are sometimes tempted to do the things that draw us to go against who we were designed to be. But in the midst of all of that, learn not to beat yourself up, because in the midst of all that, you can still want better. It is not oxymoronic. It is not paradoxical. And it is not mutually exclusive to be tempted by the bad, but still want the good. Every single day, we got temptations, but let it build your character. Let it strengthen your integrity, and let it build your resilience. I think I want to share just one more poem with you all, just one more, and then we'll close. I opened this conversation this evening, and I asked you, how good was your card game? How good are you at playing the game? And I said to you that sometimes it is about resilience. It's about perseverance. It's about stick-to-itness. It's about not giving up. It's about studying life. Because the more you study the game, a limited number of cards. And so this is about waiting. I want to share this poem. It's titled If I Wait. And it is from I'm not sure which book it is, but which number it is, but it's Who We Once Were. It's Who We Once Were. Let me get to this one. If I wait. If I wait any longer, my hair grays, my vision fades, my skin wrinkles in the heat of the day. In the stillness of chronology, a pendulum swings back and forth, east and west, left and right, where I find myself wondering whether I should wait for my strength to be renewed and my enemies to be subdued in a battle that is not necessary, in a space that is my own, where I don't have to know this or that, now or then, where or when I have to make a decision about waiting. If I wait, I lose what is mine. I lose track of time. Time is redeemed. Time, but not my dreams. Dreams become nightmares of romance, passion, and more nightmares of those who said they care enough for me to wait. Just wait while I make up my mind your business, while I navigate between the tides of Scylla and Charybdis with no one to guide me. Oh, thou great, just wait. Wait. Just wait a minute, please. Give me a little more time. I should not wait, probably should not hesitate. I can't even slow my pace, not sure anymore about the race. The race is not given. The fight doesn't seem worth a dime. A decade, 10 years have passed, and I'm praying for strength to wait. They that wait shall learn how to live, and those without patience will soon start to give up, give out, give in, wait, and learn how to win. If I wait, joy and peace and deliverance and victory, all the things I hope for may never be mine. But if I wait in pain and guilt and strife, sitting and waiting on life, that may never set me free. Because life will never wait for me if I wait. I want to thank you all so much for sharing this time and this space with me. So whatever space you've allowed me to come in, I appreciate it. I went a little over my 1,800 seconds, but listen, I felt the need to just share from 2 poems. Do me a favor, you all. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Tell other passengers to meet us right here Thursday. We are going to be reading from and sharing from Billboards to Better. If you don't have it, run out and get it. It's on Amazon.com. It's on www.gbcutler.com. Maybe I should put that up there on the screen for you, just in case you don't know what I'm saying. www.gbcutler.com. Run over to my website and get it. Pick it up. Do me a favor. Please meet me here Thursday. And until then, let's continue building community. Let's continue maintaining connectivity. You all keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Stay safe, stay sane. And please know that from my heart to yours, there is so much love. Until we meet for the next 1,800 seconds Thursday, much love and good night.